Hello friends, this is lesson number 5 of Indian Polity for UPSC series. In this video, let us know about Preamble of Indian Constitution and understand each and every word of our Preamble. This is India's Preamble. Let us read it out at the end of this video. What is Preamble? Preamble, in general, is a brief introduction of the Constitution. And preamble shows the fundamental values and the objectives of the Constitution. Fundamental values means what the country stands for, and the objectives means what the country aspired to do. And it shows what the nation stands for, which is very important because whenever a foreign nation wants to sign an agreement with India, or whenever a business entity want to invest in India, they might not be able to go through the whole constitution. So the preamble gives them an idea of what the nation stands for. And it's a key to unravel the minds of the makers of our constitution. And it promotes the ideals and aspirations of our freedom struggle. We must remember that the Constituent Assembly was formed before India got its independence and finished the work of making of Indian Constitution after India became independent. So the process of making of our Constitution passed through the stage of pre-independence and post-independence. That's why it captures the ideas and aspirations of our freedom struggle very well. And the preamble has its basis in objective resolution that we discussed in our previous videos. So with some verbal modifications, the objective resolution ultimately became our preamble. And it also inspired the shaping of our constitution. And let us know what are the fundamental values and the objectives which are mentioned in our preamble. Here, let me list it out for you. The fundamental values that are mentioned in preamble are we the people of India, sovereign, socialistic, secular, democratic republic. And the aspirations or objectives mentioned in our preamble are justice, liberty, equality, fraternity, dignity of individual, unity and integrity of nation. Let us understand each and every word that I have mentioned. The first fundamental value is we the people of India. Many ignore this phrase, but it is not there without any meaning. It is not an empty rhetoric. It shows the source of all the constitutional authority, that is, people of India, and the governance should be measured whether it is promoting the well-being of the people or not. It is mentioned in the preamble in the beginning, the source, that is we the people of India, and here again it is mentioned that give to ourselves this constitution. That is both the source and the sink of the constitutional provisions are the people of India. This shows the insight of our founding fathers. And the next fundamental value is sovereignty, which basically means the independence of the nation. And there are two kinds of sovereignty. One is external sovereignty and another is internal sovereignty. External sovereignty means the nation need not consult any outside authority for acquiring or holding or ceding the territory. And internal sovereignty means the nation need not consult for the purpose of making laws or for making any regulations in its conduct of people. This shows that the country is politically totally free. So when a country is free, it gives the people the dignity of existence, which means the people of that country is not slave to any other country but are independent. And here the individual are the ultimate sovereign, or every citizen of the country are free to decide the conduct of their life. And the next fundamental value is socialistic, which promotes social justice in the society, be it gender equality, be it alleviation of poverty, be it education to all. This guarantees minimum standard of good life, which means basic need of every citizen of the country must be satisfied. And the Indian concept of socialism is different from Western concept of socialism, which is based on public ownership. In Western socialism, don't allow individual ownership of property, but in Indian constitution we have Article 330A, which gives the right to property. So we must understand that India's socialistic agenda arose with the advent of Mahatma Gandhi into freedom struggle, and he promised the people of India to have minimum standard of living with social and economical freedom. Social freedom indicates to be free from any kind of discrimination, and economic freedom indicates the minimum standard of good life. And we must understand that corruption and crony capitalism are totally opposite to the socialistic agenda. I hope many can understand what is corruption. Crony capitalism means only few are growing super rich and many are left out, which ultimately leads to income inequality in the country. So, if someone is involved in corruption or promoting crony capitalism, then they are going against the socialistic agenda of our constitution. Next comes the secularism. We must understand India's secularism is totally different from Western concept of secularism, which is based on the principle of separation of church from state, which means the state can't make any rules or regulate or fund the religious institution or the religion. But in India, the secularism means equal protection of all religion by the state, which arose in the context of multi-religious society that we are having, and India had it from thousands of years. So that's why it becomes important to give equal protection to all the religion. And here in Indian secularism, state would take steps to reform religion and protect the oppressed class of the people. This is the concept of state neutrality with positive role of state, which means state is not partial to any religion but have a positive role to protect all the religion equally. And it is said that India is neither religious, which means India don't have any state religion, nor anti-religious, which means India don't hate or suppress any religion, but only non-religious, which means it don't have any state religion but protects all the religion equally. This aims to promote plurality of our society and promote the cohesion among different communities living in India. And the next fundamental value is democratic. A democratic country means there is a ruler who is elected by the people and is responsible to them. And our India is having an indirect democracy, or you can call it a representative form of democracy, which means people don't directly go to assembly or parliament, but they elect a representative to represent them in parliament or state assembly. And democracy gives freedom of choice to people, unlike in monarchy where a king will rule and people will not have any choice. And in democracy, the government gets authority from the will of the people expressed in an election. That's why it becomes very crucial in our country that elections are conducted in a free and fair method. And democracy at times is called rule by number or majority rule. But Indian democracy ensures that majority respect the rights of the minorities, which are ensured in many of the provisions in the constitution. And the final fundamental value is republic. Republic means elected or nominated head of the state rather than monarch. As usually the head of the state will be president, it can be said that the nation should have elected or nominated president. And in a republic, the supreme power is held by the people and their elected representative rather than a monarch. And the office of the head of the state, be it president or prime minister or any other, should be elective in nature. And this value is assured in universal adult franchise system in India, which allows every adult over 18 years of age to participate and vote in election. And every citizen after attaining particular age is equally able to stand in election. And we should note that any hereditary acquisition of power must be discouraged in a republic country. And the first aspiration or the objective mentioned in preamble is justice, political justice and social and economical justice. Political justice is ensured by fundamental rights, that is part 3 of our constitution, and social and economical justice are ensured from DPSP, that is Directive Principle of State Policy, which is part 4 of our constitution. We will know in detail about fundamental rights and DPSP in our coming videos. Then coming to liberty and fraternity. Liberty means certain minimum rights to the people of the country. For a democracy to exist, certain minimum rights to its citizens is must. Article 19 of our constitution talks about freedom of thoughts, expression, belief, faith and worship, and it is also been mentioned in our preamble too. Fraternity means spirit of brotherhood, the feeling that we all are children of the same soil. And Article 51A, which is our fundamental duties, says that it is our fundamental duty to promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood among all the people of India, transcending religion, language, or regional basis. So, if anyone who is trying to divide us on the basis of religion, language, or region are going against the fundamental duties of our constitution. And one of the important aspiration which is mentioned in preamble is equality. Article 14 of our constitution talks about equality before law and equal protection of law. We will know about all these fundamental rights in our coming videos. As of now, let us know that equality before law means everyone is equal in front of law, be it a rich or poor, be it a man or woman, be it old or young. We all are equal before law, and equal protection of law means equal should be treated equally and unequal should be treated unequally. Without equality, the weaker section of the society cannot be able to get into the mainstream. That's why our constitution ensures equal status and opportunity for all of its citizens, which ensures the weaker section of the society can avail the freedom granted by the law. And coming to dignity of individual, DPSP talks about ensuring minimum quality of life to all the section of society. That's basic needs of all the citizens should be ensured. And Article 39A of our Constitution talks about adequate means of livelihood. And Article 42 talks about humane condition of work. Article 17 talks about abolition of practice of untouchability. So like this, many articles ensure the dignity of individual is maintained. And in Maneka Gandhi versus Union of India judgment, Supreme Court held that Article 21, which is right to life, not just means right to live, but it means right to live with human dignity. And last but not the least, and I would say the most important aspiration of India's preamble is to maintain unity and integrity of the nation, which foster the unity among its inhabitants. And it is said that to maintain the independence of the country intact and enduring, unity and integrity of nation is important. We must understand the gravity of this sentence because our history has taught us time and again that whenever India is united, no other force in the world were able to touch India. But when we are not united, even a small island country like England ruled us for 200 years. And as India is a diverse society, it's very easy for anyone to divide us. That's why it becomes very important to maintain unity and integrity of nation, to maintain the independence of our country. And it is our fundamental duty to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, and integrity of our nation. So anyone who is trying to divide us and shatter the unity of our country must be discouraged. Let us know some of the limitations and the significance of Indian preamble. The preamble is not judiciable, which means it can't be enforced in a court of law. We can't go to court and say that this provision is mentioned in preamble and we are not getting it. And it neither provides power to any organ of the state nor limit any power of any organ of the state. And preamble can't override the specific provision of the constitution, which means if there's any law in the constitution, the law become more important than the preamble words. But then what is the significance of having a preamble? As I mentioned earlier, one significance is that preamble make it easier for other countries to know what India stands for. But the most significant thing about preamble is legal interpretation. Whenever there is an ambiguity of interpreting a law, the court will view that law through the light of preamble. Let us understand with an example. Here in Maneka Gandhi versus Union of India's case, we saw that the court held that Article 21, that is right to life, means not just right to live, but right to live with human dignity. So how the Supreme Court came to this conclusion? If we read our preamble, it's mentioned assuring the dignity of individual. So whenever there is ambiguity of what the law says, the law will be seen through the prism of the preamble. I hope now you have understood all the words of the preamble. Now we can read out the preamble. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialistic, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economical, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and opportunity, and to promote among all of them the fraternity, assuring the dignity of individual and the unity and the integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adapt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. I hope now you can understand the preamble in much better way. Before ending this video, I have to mention that the words socialistic, secular, and integrity were added in 42nd Constitution Amendment Act 1976 and were not there in the original form of preamble. But that doesn't mean that India was not socialistic or secular or was not integrated before that. All these qualities were there in the Constitution, but it was merely mentioned explicitly in the preamble by this amendment. That's it for this video. In our coming video, let us know about how India is a federal system with unitary bias. If you find this video useful, please to like the video and subscribe to our channel.